Well, we're going to do an opposition preview. We've got Locks from Blue Tinted Fox to join us today. So let's bring him on and get the Leicester perspective on the game this weekend. Locks, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for asking me on, lads. Much appreciated. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, and, you know, no matter what kind of form the two teams are going into it, Leicester Spurs does usually produce fireworks. How are you feeling first year back in the Premier League?
Well, I mean, where to start? I don't think you'll ever see a club or a set of fans less excited for a Premier League season than Leicester fans this year. It's been awful. I think, you know, it started off, the summer began with us losing our manager, Enzo Maresca. He wasn't a fan favourite, I wouldn't say, but still, it was not what we needed going into a new season. And then, you know, things got worse. We lost Kane and Dewsbury Hall, of course. I think the appointment of Steve Cooper, a very uninspiring choice, not a popular one within the Leicester fan base. I know you guys know Wolfie from Forest Fan TV. He did warn me about Steve Cooper. And yeah, the lack of transfers. I think we started the window quite strong. We brought in a couple squad players. Bobby Decordova-Reid from Fulham, I think, was a good addition in terms of the versatility that he offers. We signed Michael Golding, a young talent from Chelsea, as part of the Dewsbury Hall deal. That's one for the future. But other than that, no one really to come in and make an impact in the first team, to be honest with you. Where, you know, we've been linked with players like Wilfried Zaha, Adam Klozek from Bayer Leverkusen. Those deals have fallen apart in the latter stages. So yeah, Leicester fans really not looking forward to the season, not looking forward to Monday. We're really worried about how heavy the scoreline actually might be in favour of Tottenham on Monday.
Really, you're looking at it that way. I mean, I thought it was going to be a bit more of a close encounter, and it's mad to think the way Leicester have gone. You know, not so long ago, winning the FA Cup, winning the Premier League title. There has been a few rumours about potential sanctions, points deductions this season. Is that still on the table?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think we struggled to stay up regardless. But then you add in the points deduction that we're due, or that's due to come our way, and it's not looking good. I mean, you know, there's rumours that it could be anywhere up to 12 points, which is significant. That would be the biggest one so far. I think we absolutely smashed the limit, the PSR limit. The year we got relegated, that was the problem. And look, you know, the board are getting a lot of criticism, and I agree with it, but the problem was that we had the 8th highest wage bill in the Premier League when we got relegated. We lost players for free, like Yuri Tillemans, Kagler Soyuncu. They went on freeze. And we got relegated at the end of the day. You lose that TV money as well. That's what's caused the FFP issues. And now, because of that, you know, we can't spend as much. We've got money, but we can't spend it in case of breaching again. That's the problem. So yeah, we are guilty of a breach in 22-23. We will be getting punished for that at some point, but we seem to be kicking the can down the road a little bit because we keep appealing every stage, and we know it's coming, but we just don't know when exactly.
So you said the appointment of Steve Cooper has been underwhelming. Obviously, you had quite a big philosophy, like under Maresca, possession-based football. Even though, surprisingly, you're saying he wasn't a fan favourite, considering how well you did last season. Are you already seeing a big difference in pre-season compared to what Maresca was playing to what Cooper's going to be playing?
Well, we expected, you know, the criticisms of Enzo Maresca last season were it was quite boring to watch. I think you'll hear a lot of Chelsea fans saying that this season, to be honest with you. A lot of criticism that went Enzo's way was because of no apparent plan B, you know. And when Steve Cooper was announced, a small percentage of the fan base did get excited, thinking, "Oh, we'll be more pragmatic, you know, and all of this." And we did expect quite a big change in the way we played, but what's actually happened is Steve Cooper's coming in he's playing a half-hearted Enzo ball. He's keeping the main principles there, but it's kind of a weird middle of, you know, Enzo ball and pragmatico ball, if you like. So you know, when we win the ball back in the friendlies, we've had a really bad preseason. I think we played like Villarreal in like a training match, but other than that, you know, we beat Shrewsbury, but then lost to Palermo, and we lost 3-0. We got battered by Lens last weekend, 3-0. So it's the worst preseason I've seen of a Leicester team in many years. And For example, when we win the ball back, we kind of get through the first line okay, but we don't really know what to do with it after that. The attacking options are limited. I think we were starting the season with Jamie Vardy, Patson Daka, and Tom Cannon, and now we've just heard that Patson Daka is injured for a few months after an ankle injury in pre-season. So Jamie Vardy's injured for the match on Monday. So we're stuck with Tom Cannon, who was an £8 million buy last summer from Everton. Again, one for the future, apparently. And Enzo didn't really rate him, and Steve Cooper doesn't, because he's playing Mavididi, the winger, as a striker over him. So, yeah, honestly, Steve Cooper, I think he had a big job on his hands to come in and actually try and get the Leicester fans excited, but it's been the complete opposite. Nothing is exciting us at the minute. There's no players that we're linked with. The only player now that we're actually linked with is Jordan Ayew from Palace. Make of that what you will. If he's your hope of staying up in the Premier League, I think we're doomed, to be honest with you.
There's two players I want to talk to you about. Obviously, two former players going up against each other in James Madison and Harry Winks today. And you talk about fans' favourite, and he might not have been a fan's favourite by the end of it, but it was definitely this guy to the right of me's favourite when he was leaving the club, in Harry Winks. How's he getting on, Tottenham boy?
Last season, he was, he was the glue, really, in the Enzo team. He was just sat there. He was dictating the play, which is, for a player of Winks' level, in the Championship, you'd expect him to be able to do that. There were concerns last season defensively, as you guys are probably aware, more than me. There's doubts there over him defensively. It looks like this season it will be like a double pivot of him and Wilfred Ndidi. So yeah, look, I think Harry Winks is probably the best caliber of player that we could actually have in this Leicester team at the moment. We're not linked with any midfielders. Doesn't look like we're bringing anyone in. He did well last season, don't get me wrong. He was probably one of the players of the season, I think, probably just down to how important he was in the Enzo system. But yeah, like I said, there's concerns there in the Premier League, at this level, defensively more than anything, what contribution he'll make.
And James Madison, I mean, we bought him. We were very excited about him. He actually hit the ground running massively first 10 games of the season, got that big injury, and hasn't really recaptured that form yet. Does that surprise you at all, or is that something that you've seen before with him returning back from injury?
Oh, yeah. Every Leicester fan was expecting this to happen at Tottenham. First half of the season, great. So I don't know if you know this, his middle name's Arthur, so a few of us used to call him James Arthur Season Madison. So you can use that one in the future. But yeah, it's just typical Madders, I think. It's just what happens. He starts the season really strong, even in our relegation season. He was absolutely incredible. And I think he scored 2 goals against you, maybe, that season as well. And then he just seems to drop off. I think the year we got relegated, it was kind of weird. I think he was pushing for that World Cup spot. And then after the World Cup, it fell apart, really. He wasn't he wasn't providing as much, he wasn't offering as much. And I remember a game in particular against Everton, he actually took a penalty off Yuri Tillemans and missed it, and if he scored it, we probably would have stayed up. So look, he's a hell of a player. On his day, he's a hell of a player. And I remember Tottenham fans getting really, really, really excited, last season in the first half of the year. So but he does have problems. I don't know what injury he's got now, or he has had, but
he's fine now.
Always seems to be a problem. Okay, so his hip always seems to be, or used to be, a problem at Leicester. Every year he'd miss a load of games because of his hip. But after those injuries, he just wouldn't be the same player until the following season. So,
do you feel like he will be a success at Tottenham by the end of it?
I don't know. I think you guys will naturally, look to improve in the position. I think at the moment, he's probably a good. I spoke to some Spurs fans who said he might not start for you guys at the start of this season.
I think he will.
Okay. Well, especially against Leicester, because I think the type of person he is, the type of player he is, he'll be proper up for. He backs himself. He'll be up for this game, and I don't know if he'd celebrate if he scores. Maybe he won't do that, but he'll definitely want to score against us. Absolutely, of course he will. Because every player that leaves Leicester gets loads of stick from our fans, and Madison's not escaped that. So if he can score a goal and shut us up, I'm sure he'd love to.
So, you're expecting a frosty reception for Madison on Monday night then?
Yeah, I think every player that's left us to go to a bigger club has had a frosty reception, other than N'Golo Kante. I think that was the only one, if I'm honest with you. Everyone else is had it offers. So rightly or wrongly, it's just how some fans can be. But yeah, I think it'll be frosty for sure. I think there'll be some stick from the fans given to him, and like I said, he'll take that though. He'll love that, and he'll want to kind of give it back. You see Madison getting into spats online with Neil Maupay, for example, and I've seen Jamie Carragher in the past. He loves it, so he'll probably cheer him up to put in a better performance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, talking about frosty receptions, I feel like ever since Spurs and Leicester went head-to-head for that Premier League title back in 2015, there's been a bit of I wouldn't say a bit of a forced rivalry, a bit of animosity between the two teams, mainly coming from Leicester towards Tottenham. I feel whenever we go to the King Power, ever since that season. Like, do you think that's true? Do you feel there's a certain animosity from Leicester towards Tottenham?
Yeah, I mean, it's banter at the end of the day. You're a bigger club than we are, and you're a bigger club than we'll ever be. So obviously, naturally, I suppose some parts of the fan base force a rivalry in a way. I think that season for 2015-16, it will go down in history for the in the history of the Premier League, not just for Leicester fans. And you were right with us for the large part. Your fans, your players, even. I remember Harry Kane putting photographs on social media of like a lion and chasing a fox or whatever, and that just obviously added to it. And then when you did drop off and Arsenal came second in the end, obviously that led to all the banter. So I get what you're saying. Ever since then, there's been this kind of rivalry from Leicester's side. Obviously you guys probably don't care, but it will add to the occasion. You remember the game a couple of seasons ago where those two last-minute goals. That adds to it. There's a bit of history between the two clubs over the last 10 years. That all adds to it. So it's all banter in my eyes, but I'm sure some fans out there will say that they do hate Tottenham, but I'm not really.
How long do you reckon it takes on Monday night for the Leicester fans to start singing "Who Came Third in the Two-Horse Race"?
20 seconds probably. Before kickoff. Yeah, it'll be before kickoff.
Yeah, there's been some mad games, haven't there? Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing for you guys to watch out for though is how toxic the ground actually might get very quickly. Because like I said, there's a lot of toxicity at the minute towards the board for some of the decisions they've made. So if you do score an early goal or a couple of goals even in the first half, I think the ground will get really, really ugly. In the first game, even last season we were winning every game in the Championship, and when we had a couple of dodgy performances, there was some toxicity there. So I think it's probably just a product of how successful we've been in the previous 10 years to now that certain fans expect to be pushing for top six and all of this. It's a bit silly, but if you do score early goals, I think it could go 5-0 if I'm honest with you.
Wow.
And I know Vardy's not going to be playing on Monday, but he didn't do too well last time he was in the Premier League, but last season he did get 18 goals in the Championship. So Are you feeling like when he comes back to full fitness, he actually will be able to carry that on and score goals again in the Premier League at 37?
There's doubts. I mean, he had a bad season the last year, but so did pretty much everyone other than maybe Madison, you could say. Last season he didn't even start the year as our main starter, our main number 9. It was kind of between Iheanacho and Patson Daka, but they both dropped off, and Vardy came in and he just kept going. So nothing surprises us anymore with Jamie Vardy. It wouldn't surprise us if he came into this season and ended up scoring 15 goals. He's a freak of nature. He's an absolute freak, but I can't see it happening this year. I think he's just signed a new 1-year deal. We've got him in the club now until next June, and of course it would be great for him to kind of bow out in style, but I think it's he's picking up more injuries these days. He doesn't really train in the week anymore. By the way, he plays a game and then probably only trains one day the following week, and then he misses the next game, and it's really tough for him at his age. No one can blame him. It'd be nice to see him score a few, but I can't see it happening.
What's your opinion on Spurs? How do you look at Spurs after the first year of Ange Postecoglou? What do you think that we can achieve this year? And do you like the business that Spurs doing at the moment?
I do. I've just seen your latest signing. You know, when you see a fan base talk so highly of a player, and they seem really upset that he's leaving, you know, that gives you a good, good sign basically of what type of player he is. I mean, Bergvall looks like an exciting player. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. This is what I was saying about Madison. You know, does he come in for Madison maybe later on in the season? But
he is only 18 years of age, so yeah.
Yes, exactly. Archie Gray, by the way, I mean, what a player, what a talent. Last season, saw him twice, obviously, against Leicester. And he looks like he could be, obviously. People say this about a lot of players, but he could be a generational talent. He looks that good. Versatile as well, of course, right back in midfield. So, I think your business is good, to be honest with you. I did a Premier League prediction video the other day, and I actually said 5th. And I think you'll be pushing for 4th. I think you guys would love to finish 4th. I think it's going to be tight. I think Man City and Arsenal will probably run away with it. But then 3rd to 6th, it could be anyone. So I could see you getting top 4. I've predicted 5th, and I think that's not a terrible season for you. It's quite a good year. So.
And yeah, moving on to the game, you said you wouldn't be surprised if Spurs do win 5-0 this weekend, but you said it's like a half-assed Maresca ball. So does that mean it's going to be a 4-3-3 this weekend? Tom Cannon up front, because I saw Fatawu is playing up front in some pre-season games.
Mavididi was playing up front.
Mavididi.
So Cooper has been playing Mavididi there instead of Cannon for whatever reason. So it could be either. It'll be Cannon or Mavididi. It'll be one of them that start up front. I hope it's Cannon, an out-and-out striker. He showed good signs last year, but Cooper's been favouring Mavididi. I think he did play there when he was in France at Montpellier. He did play as a striker sometimes. So probably a 4-3-3. Abdul Fatawi, like you mentioned, is all our hopes are on him, I think, at the moment, because he was on a loan with obligation to buy last season, did really well, and we've obviously made that permanent now. I think he'll be sold on in the future for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 million. He's
really that good?
Yeah, he's that good. Yeah, hopefully everyone will see him this year how good he is. But I think it's a lot of pressure to put all your safety hopes on a 19-year-old kid. I'm worried about Solanke, by the way. The 1 year you kind of lost Harry Kane and didn't really replace him. We were in the Championship, and now that we're back, you've got Solanke. He used to love scoring goals against Leicester, by the way. So if he does start on Monday, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a goal. All of this is just adding to the anxiety and panic we have as Leicester fans. A lot of fans are expecting the worst, hoping for the best, of course, but expecting the worst.
So score prediction?
I'm going to say 3-0. It could be 5, but I'm going to say 3-0. I think we're struggling to score goals. We're struggling to create chances, even defensively. When we've been in a low block at times in pre-season, even then we're conceding a lot of chances. Connor Cody, it looked like was going to be the preferred choice for Cooper this year, but he's now injured as well. So it's going to be probably Wout Faes and Yannick Vestergaard, who were our partnership last year. So not a great Premier League centre-back pairing, but yeah, 3-0 Tottenham. I think you'll probably win it by half-time, to be honest with you.
Out of interest, are you any good at set pieces, attacking set pieces?
No.
That's music to our ears, because we're very poor at defending them.
Might be all right.
Yeah. I think the last time we were good at set pieces was when Robert Huth scored against you in 2016. Okay. Yeah.
I remember I was sitting right behind that goal.
yeah, we're no good attacking or defending, so yeah, no chance there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Locks, I want to thank you very much for coming on, and you've definitely made me a lot more confident going into the game this weekend, because we did a preview show yesterday and I was saying I think it's going to be a really tight game. I think Leicester fans are going to be bang up for it, and first game back in the Premier League, I thought there was definitely going to be a performance raiser from the Leicester team coming into it. So I still think there might be, but you've definitely made me a lot more confident coming into this.
Yeah, with all due respect, I think you're really wrong. I think this will be quite comfortable for you, and I don't think the fans will be up for it, to be honest. So yeah.
Wow. Well, anyone wants to go and see more of Locks, some really good Foxes content, go and check out Blue Tinted Fox. But thank you so much for coming on today, Locks, and good luck for the season.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good luck after Monday, and I hope to chat to you later in the season, mate. Yeah.
100%. Cheers, mate.